everybody out there, this is Seto, and today for you guys we're going to be doing another video of Every Card Has a Story. Today we are going to be doing Dark Magician. Last time we did Blue Eyes White Dragon, and these Dark Magicians, these two particular, they're pretty much in near mint condition. This one's near mint, this one I would say is lightly played to near mint. The edges are a little bit worn, but that's to be expected from a card that is over 10 years old, but there's no scratches, no dents, nothing like that. But these two cards have a lot of value to me. They belong to my brother for a long time until he quit the game a couple of years ago. But these belong to him, and I got to play with the cards as well. Me and my brother used to have a system where, say one of us is not going to be able to go to locals tonight, or not going to regionals that weekend, or whatever the case may be. I would be like, hey, you can go borrow my deck, or you can borrow some of my cards if you want to play, or take my deck and go play with it this evening. We would share things of that nature. Just don't lose the cards, don't get them stolen, two main things. But literally, we used to share cards to some extent, because we kind of compound, for Christmas, we'd be like, you get these Yu-Gi-Oh! 10s with these things, and I get these things, and we just combine our things so we can have some good decks. But, the same day we went to go get my Blue Eyes White Dragon structure decks, after I had gone to school, my brother came with me to Toys R Us that day with my grandmother. And we went to Toys R Us, and he had watched a couple episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh! He really wasn't into it. He was like, I think he was around 8, almost 9 years old at the time. He's a couple years younger than me. And he goes in, he's like, you know what, he told my grandma, he's like, I'll take the other one, the Dark Magician, because he liked spellcasters and magic type of things. Not magic the game, just like sorcery type of things. You also have to keep in mind that Harry Potter was a very popular book, and the movie, the first movie was already out by then. So he was kind of into all that type of thing, stuff at that time, in 2002. So he got the Dark Magician. We go home, we crack open our structure decks, and he starts playing as the Dark Magician in Yu-Gi. He had no idea, literally, how to play at all. I had to teach him, he had seen the show, so literally, he had to learn how to play, just normal summoning the Dark Magician, what's a trap, what's an effect, basic things like that. And you remember, this is I'm trying to teach my brother how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Based off the Duelist Kingdom, how you used to see it on TV, because that's how we thought it was played. We didn't pay attention to the rule book very early on. And then, after I went to my first locals, I think it was in December, doing winter break, my brother had already turned 9 years old. His birthday's in December. And he was like, you know what? I actually want to come to you to the locals. And I had taught him how to play properly at this time. So he still ran one Dark Magician, but he ran things like, he kind of used some of my cards, from the Seto Kaiba structure deck. He didn't buy a whole bunch of them at the time. I mainly had the expensive things. He had the secondary things. So he had stuff like Common Summon Skulls he picked up from locals, Judge Man, Man-Eater Bugs, Swords of Revealing Light. He had all the good stuff for those early parts of Yu-Gi-Oh's history. He did own that. That's probably one of the reasons why I have 8 super rare Man-Eater Bugs laying in my binder still to this day, is because he used to play that. So he used to play a lot of the stuff from Legend of Blue Eyes, Magic Rulers, and Metal Raiders. So he did play Dark Magician in those type of decks. He put it as a one of. So it was his ace monster, as he called it, I remember, because he would bring it out. And he had different ways he could bring it out. I remember the one way he loved doing it was with Nimble Mamonga. If you guys remember Nimble Mamonga or Nimble Mamonga, I forget how it goes, but pretty much I think it came out with Spell Rulers or Magic Rulers, which is the original name of the set, where it pretty much was a flip effect monster that stated when this card was destroyed and sent to battle, you gained 1,000 life points, and then you got to special summon 2 Nimble Mamongas to the field. So those would be his 2 tribute fodder, and then he would tribute off the Nimble Mamongas for his Dark Magician. And he played that type of deck, that had he was a tribute fodder engine. It wasn't a beatdown type of deck. He used, even though it wasn't really effective back in those days, for just a local scene, he played a lot of equip spell cards Mage Power, United We Stand, things of that nature. He eventually, I gave to him when I pulled it out of my pack, which will be in another video, my Dark Magician Girl. He actually played the Dark Magician Girl 2004 tin promo that you've actually seen in my Dark Magician profile. He actually played that. That was his Dark Magician Girl he played. He liked the full body artwork and he kind of got me into liking it, but whatever. So he did play that for a long time. Then I think it was Ancient Sanctuary after Invasion of Chaos. They had the Dark Magic Attack came out and he loved that card. And not a lot of people at locals at the time, back in the the local scene, and by this time, we've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Properly for 2 to 3 years. A lot of people back then played a lot more traps. MST was at 1 by that time, and I think Heavy was banned after the first ban list, if I remember correctly. It came back later on, but at that rotation, it was actually banned. So he had these 2 dark magic attacks that you've seen on my channel that are ultras. Actually, I have 3 of them, but what he used to do is he would tribute off, and we'd be like, okay, that's cool, because, back then we had a lot of battle traps like Sakuretsu Armor, Mirror Force, things of that nature. So he'd be like, okay, that's cool. And then he would go, Dark Magician, and we're like, this is literally me and my friend, we're like, we're hoping, we're praying, we're like, please don't have the Dark Magic Attack. Please don't have the Dark Magic Attack. And he would always drop that Dark Magic Attack and be like, Dark Magic Attack, your back row. Goodbye. And we're like, there goes my Sakuretsu Armor. There goes my Mirror Force. There goes my Trap Hole. Fudge my life. I hate this card. But he was able to consistently get Dark Magician out in the field to some degree in those early days. He stopped playing the deck eventually because it got power creeped. But he always had a side deck. He had 2 to 3 decks he always played. He had his main deck that he would take to locals for a tournament, which was sometimes beat down or just different types of swarm the field type of strategies in the early days of Yu-Gi-Oh! He really didn't have a strategy. He just mainly, by the time he, was around 12, 13 years old, by 2004, 2005, he actually started playing different types of decks. He pulled a Cyber Dragon at Sneak Peek, which I still have, and he used to summon the Cyber Dragon and then tribute out from Mobius. So special Cyber Dragon, if he was going second, normal summon Mobius, blow up the back row, and it was kind of So he had different engines. He evolved with the game, but he kind of always had his own little way of playing the game. But during the Synchro era, he loved it. He loved synchros. He was really big into synchros and going up to Stardust Dragon and stuff like that. He really was into Yu-Gi-Oh! Not so much for the competitive aspect, but just for the fun aspect. But he was also a pretty good player at that rate. And he actually, by the time I think he was 13, 14, I think maybe 15 it was. Early on, he actually went to a Dragon Duelist tournament and actually topped at it, and I actually have his mat still, which is a Gore's playmat. He actually got a Gore's playmat for topping and Dragon Duels when he was younger, that was. So he played for a long time, but these 2 cards are pretty much very fun to play with me because I play them with my Dark Magician deck still, with all the new Dark Magician support. And speak of the Devil, there's one, I don't have the other one, but that's one of the Dark Magic attacks he used to use back in the day to blow up our back row, because he ran 2 to 3, and then he would always run discarding outlets. But the one card we used to pick up on a lot because we hate seeing Dark Magician drop on the field and have a Dark Magic attack is sometimes I ran Solemn Judgment just for that reason. Back when nobody was running it, everybody's like, oh, that's so bad. I was like, yeah, but he always seems to have that Dark Magic attack in hand, and I'm like, I hate that card. So it was kind of like Harpy's Feather Duster. You had to dance around that, so sometimes I would have to bait him out to use it, so I would set 1 or 2 back row at a time just to see, and make him Book of Moon or reactive cards, so that way I could get the effects off still. So there were ways to play around his Dark Magic attack, but I just did not like that card. But yeah, these were his 2 Dark Magicians, and when he quit, he gave them to me, and now I play them in my Dark Magician deck. I did get 1 Yugi structure deck as well later on. Like I said, he went back, he got another Dark Magician structure deck, another Dark Magician, so he played 3 Dark Magicians. He got his out of this tin. This was actually his original tin that he got that was Dark Magician. And I went back and got a 1 Dark Magician structure deck for myself. So I got a Dark Magician structure deck for myself, actually. and I played that. So it's the same original artwork as this, except it's got like a little bit more foiling, I think, up here or something like that. But yeah, that's the story of these Dark Magicians. They belong to my brother. He gave them to me when he quit, and they've been with me ever since. And he's actually played a couple of times my Dark Magician deck. He actually kind of helped me build it when it first came out. And he's played it a couple times with the new support being fully out. He loves the fact that I actually play DMOC in it, but he plays now. He's 21 years old now, so he's a lot older than what he was back then when we were kids. But he's playing a little bit. I try to drag him back into the game. He's like, nah, I don't want to. You know, it's just, you know, Yu-Gi-Oh. But sometimes for fun, we do play GOAT format and older formats. And actually, that's one of the reasons why I started building a lot of the older format decks, is because my brother used to play back then. But he doesn't play that much, actually, really, anymore. But that is the story behind the Dark Magicians. Until next time, guys, take care. Have fun dueling. Good luck dueling. And I'll see you guys next time. And I hope you guys all enjoyed this card story. And tell me your story about your Dark Magicians that you have, guys. But yeah, these are from the original structure deck. And I love them to death. I just love the original artwork. It looks so awesome. But take care, everybody. I'll see you guys next time. Good luck dueling to all of you.